Technically, I am trilingual. My first language is it's called ASL, American Sign Language. I ended up doing ballroom for 5 years, and then I did jazz, ballet, and hip hop for just 1 year. My brother is my twin, actually.
You have a twin
We're
brother?
There we go.
Hey,
How are you?
pretty good. Pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
It's good to see you. It's been a while.
It has been a while.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's strange to see you without a shirt and tie.
Yeah, the shirts and ties are right over there in the closet.
That's good. That's good. Well, it's really nice to see you, and I'm really grateful that you accepted this this interview project.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, I don't know if I had told you about it before. Had I mentioned it?
You mentioned something about an interview, but like that's all I know. So like I don't know what
Okay.
it's about, what the questions are. I'm going with that part blind.
It's not a specific set of questions. Basically, it started almost by accident, like
Yeah.
I was talking to someone, an American guy, and we were talking about Spanish, and I decided to give him some challenges. And one day when we did it again, he had this idea of recording it, you know, so that we
Hmm.
could share it with our students because he was teaching English, and that's what I do, you know.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, well, let's give it a try, and if it's something good, we can share it. And I really liked it. That's how it started, and now I've done, I don't know, I didn't count, but I don't know, 15, 20 interviews, I don't know, with different people. And definitely, I wanted to do this with you, because for what I remember, and being that like one of the main topics of these interviews is the process of learning a language.
Hmm.
I think you got an amazing level of Spanish for what I remember, Why don't you introduce
Hmm.
yourself a little bit for anyone who will be watching this? So why don't you say a little bit about who you are,
Yeah. Well, I'm Daxon Bess. I'm from Idaho. I was born in Rexburg. I'm 21 now. I left on my mission 2023 in January, and I actually returned just this last January here in 2025. Things that I like to do. I've been going through school. I love learning. I found that's part of what I learned on the mission was I love language learning especially. It's just so much fun to learn about the different cultures and the different people that there are out there, and it kind of
Hmm.
expands your horizons quite a bit. And yeah, that's a little bit about me.
That's great. So you're from Idaho, right?
Yes.
I thought you were from Utah.
No.
As most missionaries.
It's Utah too. It's Utah too. I
Well,
mean, we're
basically.
just north.
Absolutely, absolutely. You're 21. 21.
Yes.
When is your
Mhm.
birthday?
It was May 3rd. So not
Ah,
today. I think it was last week.
next week.
What
Today
day
is the
is it
10th.
today? Today's the
The
10th?
10th of
Yeah, it would have
May.
been
Yeah.
last Saturday. Yep.
Oh, well, happy birthday.
Well,
Ah, in
thank you.
fact, I greeted you. That's how we started talking about
Yeah,
doing this.
that's how we
Yeah,
started the conversation.
I
He did say
forgot
happy
about it.
birthday.
That's why. I'm old and forgetful. Forgive me.
I'm not old, but I'm still forgetful, so I'll forgive you
Anyways,
anyways.
that's great. That's great. So, now that you said that you find it interesting learning stuff and
Mhm.
especially learning languages, I think it was pretty easy to tell about that because when you participated, you were like really into it, and you liked being challenged and you liked learning and you accepted even like corrections or anything I could help you with. You always
Mhm.
accepted it in a very good way. That's really nice. Just out of curiosity, have you been learning any other languages
Yeah,
other than
so um technically I am trilingual.
really?
I my first language is it's called ASL, American Sign Language. Es el idioma de señas aquí en los Estados Unidos.
Yeah.
That was my first language because my dad served a mission just like I did. He went down to Houston, and it's kind of a funny story, but he got really fed up with he was friends with an elder that was deaf. And to talk with the elder, he had to write everything down he wanted to say and pass the paper over. And then the elder would have to write down his response and pass the paper back. And my dad got frustrated with that, and he just threw the paper away. He was like, "Okay, you're just gonna teach me your language so we can communicate one on one." And he picked it up. His mission president found out, and he ended up doing serving the rest of his mission in ASL. And when he came back,
Wow.
he was an interpreter. And so my
That's
first
amazing.
language, because for babies it's a lot easier to pick up moving your hands,
Yeah.
was sign language. And so I had a vocabulary of several thousand words by the time I was like not even two.
Wow. So you were raised uh with using sign language. So
Hmm.
you were learning English because that's what you heard, but also communicating with your hands. That's
Yes.
amazing. That's amazing.
And unfortunately, I lost quite a bit of it because, like, growing up, like, there wasn't a lot of exposure to the language. And so,
Mhm.
like, I can still understand just about everything people say to me. It's just
Uh-huh.
I'm really kind of slow on the response. My grammar isn't the best. And so I've been, since I came back, they started up a deaf branch here, and my dad is part of the leadership of that deaf branch. And so I've been
Uh-huh.
helping out and serving there, and I've become an interpreter there. And so I'm picking up again my third language, which was my first language.
That's really incredible. But I don't know if this is too much to ask, but what would you give us like some kind of, like demonstration? Like would you show us like
Yeah.
how you do it? I,
So
okay.
sign language uses a lot of your facial expressions and your examples with your hands. And so it depends on the placement here, and nothing usually goes below your waist. So when you're on a call with a deaf person, I don't know if I can get my camera to a good angle to do so, but this is about what you want to see. So you can see the position and the placement of their hands,
Yeah.
as well as like there's nothing distracting in the background. And so my name is Daxon. I'm from Idaho. My dad taught me sign language or ASL.
Yeah.
It's the same
Wow.
thing.
Well, I'm like you're blowing my mind right now. Like, 'cause like everyone like maybe has something special, something unique, like I don't know. Each interview has something special. I was not expecting this because I had no idea about that. So,
Yeah.
and when you say that you're technically trilingual, I was thinking, okay, what is it? Maybe it's French, German, like
Nope.
something like that. I
A lot
I
more
was
practical, a lot more practical.
That's pretty amazing. And I think that I always feel and I don't know when it started. I think something happened during my mission, you know, years ago. I think we ran into someone and I felt, like so useless that I could not communicate with that person. And since
Hmm.
then I was like, I wish I knew that, but I never did anything, you know, to
Yeah.
learn it. And I've met people, even, one of my brothers, he took a little course to have an idea,
Hmm.
and some of the people that I've met. And every time they tell me, it's like, wow, that's really cool. I wish I could do that too, but I'm impressed. That's really, really nice. That's really nice. And have you used it in a real context, in, I don't know, maybe a conference or teaching, or like, I don't know.
Yeah.
What kind of
Yeah.
experiences
So
have you had?
in our branch, I was called as the elders quorum teacher.
Right.
And the way we have that set up is I teach class on the second Sunday of every month.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And so I need to to learn enough to teach the lessons, although I teach very simple. It's not complicated or confusing.
Yes.
And then I also was called as an interpreter. And so I work both as a voice interpreter, so watching people sign and voice interpreting for them. But then I
Oh.
also sign interpret. I'm not the best at that, but I'm learning. And one time, actually, a while back, was 1 month ago, I think, I had to interpret from sign language or ASL to Spanish because one of the women in my branch, she's deaf. She can't speak or
Yes.
hear,
Right.
but her mom is from Mexico
Okay.
and doesn't understand ASL or English.
Okay.
And so
So
I had to interpret from ASL, which I was just picking up again, to Spanish
my mind
and
is
voice
exploding right
interpret for
now.
her.
Because okay, there's something that, okay, it's American Sign Language. That means that there are different languages with signs. So the one
Yes,
we use here probably in Spanish is not the same you use there, right?
exactly. Yes.
Okay, but is it really like that different? Like completely different, or how
There's a
different?
lot of similarities because
Uh-huh.
ASL is a very visual language. And that's actually a problem. I haven't seen a lot of deaf blind people, but there's people that are deaf and blind.
What do
And
they
so
do in that
it's
case?
hard. They have a language, it's called tactile.
Uh-huh.
I don't know that language. I
Okay,
don't
okay.
speak. But it's you they sign usually touching your hands. And so
Ah,
they have one hand placed usually on either your shoulder or your arm, and
right.
one other hand on like holding your hand basically, so they
Yeah.
can feel the shape that your hand makes and where you put
Ah,
it relative to the other arm.
that's
And so
amazing.
that's how they understand. But most ASL is very visual based. And so like a
Exactly.
lot of things are very like you can see it. Like to drink, like you can see holding the cup, drinking it. To
Exactly.
eat, you're putting something into your mouth.
Right.
But there are differences. Like I know from Spanish sign language, my dad has a story that he told me, but there's in ASL, this is thirsty.
Uh-huh. Okay.
In
In
Spanish sign
ASL.
language, or specifically Mexican sign language,
Yeah.
this is lust.
Oh,
And my dad's companion had a very, very confusing interaction with those two signs. So,
oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay.
so there's a lot of similarities. You can see a lot of it, but there's also a lot of differences that you kind of have to be aware of going into the different languages.
Like the same movement, the same gesture might have different meanings in
Yeah,
one language and the other. That is incredible.
yeah.
So you know ASL, but you also know how to do it in Spanish as well?
No, I've learned very little
Okay.
Spanish sign language. I
Uh-huh.
would love to learn more, but I don't know anybody that can teach me. It's like I have to learn from the internet,
Yeah.
and I have a lot of other languages that I would love to learn. It's in the list.
It's in the list.
Yep.
In your bucket list. I've been teaching my
Yeah.
students about the bucket list. They always ask me,
Yeah.
Why bucket?" Like
It's this
I don't
bucket right here, you know? It's
There you go. Well, you see, speaking about visual things, right? You're a very visual person then.
Yep.
Well, I always say, in my classes, I
Mhm.
spend my days and hours each day teaching English, and I've been doing this for a long time. But especially since I started teaching online, I use lots of visuals, lots of pictures,
Mhm.
or videos or things like that, and colors and stuff, and crazy images, because I believe it's easier to remember images than just list of words.
Mhm.
And so I love working like that with pictures. So I think that when learning something, whatever it is, I think visuals are important, like visual aids, you know. So it's oh, wow, I'm still like kind of like speechless because I was so not expecting that, it took me so much by surprise, but in a very good
Yeah.
way. I'm really impressed. It's really amazing, and especially to
Thank you.
know that you were raised like that,
Hmm.
because that makes it even more special. Um, I well, probably I don't know if I told you this because we've talked many times, and most of the times we've been talking about learning in Spanish and
Yeah.
things like that. But I have three kids. They're not
Hmm.
kids anymore. They're 20,
They're
in their 20s, the three of them,
okay, so
20,
my age.
23.
I guess I'm a kid then by
Well,
that
exactly.
classification.
Well, exactly. But we raised the three of them, like surrounding them as much as possible with English, like
Hmm.
music, movies, cartoons, whatever, even conversations, and also classes as well, no? But mainly like their environment, surrounding them with English. So they also were raised, with both languages. Their life was in Spanish, but also there was a lot of English going on around them, so they picked it up, and for them, it's basically their second language.
Yeah.
They're technically bilingual as well.
Hmm.
Even one of them, my oldest son Franco, he served in Brazil, so he's trilingual. You know, and they love languages. In fact, right now, using Duolingo or one of those apps, he's learning Swedish. And my other
That's a
son,
harder language.
I know, I know. And then Tobias, my second child, he's been practicing Portuguese and also German. And my daughter, she was practicing Italian, and right now she's practicing what is it? Catalan, this other language in Spain, Catalan,
Yeah.
from
From
Catalonia.
there was I don't know if you ever got to meet Elder Chavez.
Yeah, yeah, a couple times. Yes.
I think he has family that are from Catalan. Uh, he mentioned
Catalonia.
something about that. Yeah.
Probably, yeah. I don't. I think he said he was from Spain, but he was not specific, But when we met, the way he talked, he sounded very much as an Argentinian. It seemed to me. I don't know, like it didn't show that he was not from here at that time.
Yeah.
Yes, and it was only a couple times. It would have been interesting to meet him in person. It was only video calls and classes, and because he was next to
Yeah.
someone else practicing, Spanish. But a good guy. I remember
Yeah.
he's a funny guy. Yes.
Very
Nice.
funny.
I'm really impressed. And something else that I remember about you that also got my attention, and I thought that's where the conversation was gonna go, probably. You told me, if I'm not wrong, if I don't remember, you know, if I'm not mistaken, I think you told me you were into dancing as well. Is that
I
right?
did do dance. Yes.
Yes. Well, tell me a little
Hmm.
bit about that. That's also very interesting.
So I started dance when I moved here back to Idaho. So my family, we moved around a bunch because my dad was part of the Air Force. And so we got told, you need to go to this base over here, this base over here. And so we moved around a ton.
Uh-huh.
I was born here. My parents had been living in Arizona. They moved here, then we went to Kansas, and then we went to Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
And then after 9 years of living in Colorado, we moved back here. And my aunt on my mom's side has a dance studio.
Uh-huh.
And it was like getting to the summertime when the all the extracurricular activities here kind of pick up. And my aunt texted my mom because she knew that we just recently moved here, and she said,
Mm-hmm.
"Hey, my dance studio is in need of some boys. Would your boys be interested in doing dance?" And so my mom asked me and my brother. We were like, "Well, we got nothing better to do." And so we ended up signing up for the dance team, and we
Uh-huh.
did. I ended up doing ballroom for 5 years,
Wow.
and yeah, I did ballroom for 5 years, and then I did jazz, ballet, and hip hop for just 1 year.
Uh-huh.
It was the same year, so it's like that. I did the dance for a total of 5 years, but one of them I did both ballroom and jazz, hip hop, and ballet.
That's amazing. So you have a brother. It's
Yes,
just the two of you, just two.
There's four sisters after that. So there's just
Oh,
the two
okay.
boys, and I've got four sisters.
Really?
Yeah.
But the ones that went into dancing was you and your brother only?
At the beginning, yes. So it's me and
Uh-huh.
my brother is my twin, actually.
You have a twin
We're
brother?
I do.
Well, you well,
I'm
you're
just letting off all of the bombs here.
you're a Pandora's box. It's like you're full of surprises.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
I don't know if he's here right now. If he here, if you'll give me
Okay.
just a
All
second, I'll see
right.
if he's here.
Okay.
It looks like he's not.
Oh no, really?
Yeah. Where did I put? Here we go. So I still have my kit from serving the mission. And
Uh-huh.
in this, I have,
You have a
we'll see if
picture?
the camera doesn't blur it out. I might actually need to take the blur off so it'll
Oh,
show.
probably.
Okay.
Okay.
So we look nothing alike. We're what in English we use the word fraternal. We're fraternal twins.
Uh-huh.
But this is me at my graduation, and this
Right.
is my twin brother right here.
I don't think I would be able to tell he's your brother.
No. And everyone's
Wow.
joked around. It's like they're like he looks like maybe like an adopted brother from like a Mexican family or something like that.
It's true, he
But
looks
yeah,
Latin. That is incredible.
yeah, he's a lot darker than I am, and he's almost a full head taller than I am. He's almost 2 metros.
Really?
Yeah.
And how tall are you?
I am I'd actually need
You
to
know,
convert this
in feet, right?
in imperial units, which are kind of dumb and nobody likes. I am 5'8".
5'8". Okay.
Yeah, five
I
eight.
I
So
think I'm five
average.
six, so I have an idea. Okay. But he is what?
He is 5'11", and
Uh-huh.
6 foot on a good day. So yeah,
Okay.
he's right there
Okay.
for being 6 foot.
That's very amazing. But he's your twin brother. That's incredible.
Yeah.
So that's the word we use because sometimes we talk about when we practice vocabulary, in general vocabulary, we talk about the difference between being twins and identical twins, you know?
Yeah,
So the ones that like maybe don't look alike, we say fraternal
mellizo.
twins.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Yes, in
mellizos,
Spanish,
those ones that are born on the same day, but
yeah,
they're not identical,
right.
are well, it's specifically like it's named by the process of how they were developed. Identical twins, it's the same egg sac and it
Exact-
splits.
Right.
It just happens, and so both egg sacs have the same genetic DNA, and so
Exactly.
the both of the kids that come out look exactly the same.
Yes, those are the ones we
Fraternal
call
twins,
identical twins. Identical twins.
exactly,
Then
gemelos, and
gemelos.
then the ones that look different, or they're from two different egg sacs that gets fertilized at the same time. And so they both develop, but they both of them have their own genetic code, their own genetic makeup,
Mhm.
and so they're two different people. And so all twins that are a boy and a girl, or that don't look alike, are usually fraternal twins.
Exactly. Wow, that's impressive. So that there's you two and then four
And
sisters.
then four sisters, yeah.
Any twins there or no?
No,
Or one by one?
it's they're one at a time after that.
Okay. Okay. Oh, I think that recently I talked to someone who had like two sets of twins. I don't remember who it
That's
was, but
in the
yeah.
same family, that's crazy.
Mm, yes, and it can happen, you know.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. There you go. Wow, that's amazing. And so your brother was dancing also, he accepted
Yeah.
this
Mhm.
idea of dancing, and then your sisters joined too.
Yeah, as they got
Oh,
old enough, it started with my oldest sister because she was into dance.
mm.
She started with ballroom, but didn't like it as much and ended up switching more over to jazz, hip hop, and ballet. And then my other
Uh-huh.
sister just wanted to do jazz, hip hop, and ballet, so she didn't even do any ballroom.
Okay. So then they must be what, teenagers? I suppose they are
Yeah,
younger,
I've
right?
got my oldest sister. She's 19. She's actually preparing to go out on her mission probably the end of this year, maybe a little later.
Ah, okay.
The next one down is 17. She'll be turning 18 in August, I believe is her birthday. And
Mm-hmm.
then below her is She's 15 now. That's crazy to me.
Did you
14,
say my
15.
birthday was in August?
Yeah,
It's November.
it's November. Okay, I get it wrong. You come want to cut something hi to my friend?
Yes, want to come say hi to
Okay,
your friend.
I'll give you the headphones so you can hear him talk. This
Okay.
is Matthias.
Hello,
Hello.
Matthias.
Hi, how you doing?
Hello.
Nice to meet
I'm
you.
good. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. Nice talking to
Nice.
you. So you
Yeah.
are what, one of his what
I'm the fourth child. I'm the second youngest sibling.
there you go.
Third.
Yeah, you're the
I'm
third
the
youngest.
17. I'm the one who's
There's two more
17.
below her, and then
Two more
there's
below
three of
me.
us above her. That's
Yeah.
Okay,
how it
kind
goes.
kind of like a middle child there. All right.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Yeah, that's
I'm one
good.
of the middle children. Yeah. I'm Ren, by the way.
I was going to ask you, what's the name again?
Yeah, Ren.
Ren?
Ren. Yes.
Starting with an R?
Yes.
I don't
No
think I know
W.
that name.
Ren.
Really? Is that short
Mhm.
for something or?
It's short for Reina, but I don't go by that.
Okay, okay. That's good. Ren.
Yeah.
Very original, I would say.
It is. Yeah.
And I don't know if
I
I
came
know
up with
any
it all by
other.
myself.
I don't know if I know any other Daxon. Not that I can think of.
To be fair, his name did come from Star Trek.
This is true.
Star Trek? I
He's the
don't.
space slug.
If you look at the older Star Treks, there's a character named Dax, and Dax is like a parasitic space slug that ends up like kind of changing bodies through like
Okay.
the episodes and the seasons go on. And so
Yeah.
you can look and Dax changes bodies, but Dax is like I don't know, it was one of my favorite my parents' favorite characters. They loved the name, and so they took Dax, stuck ON on the end, and called it good.
That is very original. And what is your brother's name?
Ikea.
Ikea?
IKEA.
Like Isaiah, but instead of the S, it's a K.
Wow, it's so
It's the
original.
European form of Isaiah.
Okay, now I want to know the rest of the names. What are the other ones?
Okay, so the one just older than me is Noelle.
Well,
Noelani is her full name. Um, and then the one just younger than me, her name is Marin. And then the youngest is Balana, and
Also
that's
from
also
Star
from Star
Trek.
Trek.
what's the last one?
Balana.
I don't even know how to spell that.
Balana.
Very
In
original.
Star Trek,
There's an
there's an
apostrophe.
apostrophe.
That's the only difference.
That's the only difference.
Wait, once again, I'm impressed. Yes, I was just telling him he's a box of surprises, like
Oh,
Pandora's
there's so
box.
many, so many. There's so much stuff we've all done.
Yep.
It's a real problem. We know how to do everything.
You're a very interesting family. I
Very
think
much
we should
so.
have more interviews so you can tell me more because these specials only last like 40 minutes and then it's over. But very, very interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, when I talked to you, I said I want to talk to you because I know it's going to be you look like an interesting person to talk to.
You
Like
look like an interesting person to talk to.
oh, because he can
I
hear me,
do.
right?
He can't hear you. Don't worry.
Right.
I can read lips, so that's what I've been
Ah,
doing.
because it seemed like you were understanding what I was saying, you know? But I was like, well, I
Reading
thought
lips
he
comes a lot with doing ASL. There's a lot of people that mouth the words, and so you can pick up a lot of what they're saying from reading the shape of their mouth.
lots of skills are developed when
Yeah.
I suppose, no, right?
Lots of skills developed.
Yep.
Gotta repeat everything for him.
It's like translating, it feels like you're
Yeah.
translating for me. Wow, you're a very interesting family. And you also
Very
said that
interesting
because of
family.
your father's job, you have been moving around, the
Or the
I didn't
dad's
quite catch
job.
that.
We've been moving around.
Yeah, that was his job starting out. He went from being an interpreter to being a flight instructor, and then when my parents got the funny surprise that they were gonna have twins, that's when my dad realized that he was gonna need to switch jobs again because he didn't get paid enough as a flight instructor, and
uh-huh,
he got into kind of IT technician work, and then ended
uh-huh.
up in the cybersecurity field. He's out of the military now, but still works
Ah,
cybersecurity.
okay, so more stable. He's more established there where you are now,
He,
right? Or no?
yeah, he
Yeah.
got out of the military in 2015 when our youngest sister was like a year old. She wasn't very old
That
because he was in there for 12 years.
2015. Yes, because it was right before we moved. Yep,
Yep.
that sounds right.
And
Great.
then that's when, after he got out of the military, he went to a company called Raytheon and he worked cybersecurity there. Yeah.
Wow. So, and what is the town or the city where you are now?
We're currently stationed in Rigby, Idaho
Okay. It sounded it
for
sounded
now.
it sounded odd to me that you said we're stationed.
We're safe.
Like it sounds like a
Military.
yeah, it sounded like a military word.
That's really a problem. Anytime I hold a flashlight, it's like you gotta look like this.
It just doesn't feel natural the other way
It
around though.
doesn't,
Like
because it's like you
it's
hold it
like
like
if
this.
you hold the flashlight like this, it's like your arm has to be at a weird angle for you to actually see what you're looking at.
So how
But
do
you
you
gotta
hold
do
it?
it
How do you
Versus
hold
like
it?
this is a lot more
like
natural to
that.
see what you're looking at.
It's like the police.
Yeah, that's how like a lot of the people in America, like the military, the police, anybody who has like those kind of backgrounds, that's how they hold flashlights.
Wow. I think probably this is the most interesting conversation I've had in a long time.
Yeah, if you wanted to fill up interview time, I've got plenty more siblings after this one.
Okay, one by one. This
One by one. Oh,
One by
there's so
okay,
one.
many.
next. Who's-
Uh,
Who else is
just keep
coming?
them coming. I don't know
Keep
if they'll
going.
that all fit in the room, but just keep them
But
coming.
Oh,
wow,
just
no.
wait. We've got cousins too.
This is true. On my mom's side, their family's huge.
We
Really?
have 53 cousins on our mom's side.
Yeah.
53 cousins.
Yeah, my grandpa, he was married. They had 8 kids starting out, and then my grandma died in a car accident. He ended up getting remarried later on, and it was to
Brought the
someone
total
who
of
already had
11.
4 kids, and so they went up from yeah, they
8
went
to
up
11.
to 11 kids, and so I've got technically 10 aunts and uncles, just considering my mom's side of the family, not including those who they've married. And so the family just branches out from there.
It's like, I don't know, I think you can make a movie or I, more like a series, probably, with episodes and all. Like telling all the stories and all the things you do, all the
Oh,
things
yeah.
you practice, all the things you study, all the skills you have and talents, you know? Wow.
I don't know. I think I'm kind of the most interesting,
Ah.
but
This is this
that's
is the
that's
drama queen
preference.
sibling. Like to to categorize this is the dramatic sibling right
Okay.
here.
The dramatic one.
I'm not only drama. I do a lot of sciencey stuff. I'm currently taking a forensic science class and I'm learning how to find out cause of death. I already know how to calculate blood spatter and all that stuff and where it came from and velocity and all that. I know how to do fingerprint analysis, handwriting analysis. I can technically testify as an expert witness on any of those things just because of what I've learned.
Wow. You're all very
Yeah.
you're all very gifted. It seems
Very
like to me,
gifted.
right? Like, very, very, I'm very impressed. Very impressed. Very interesting. Well, I'm happy I was right. No, like I think it was a pretty good idea to invite you to this. I don't know if she knows, but the idea is I'm recording this, then I'm going to edit it, and I have a channel where I upload these interviews, you know.
Hmm.
Um, as a hobby, but also I is something, a way of providing my students of English, to watch
Hmm.
things in English, something that I make. So
Nice.
this
So
is
you're a
going to,
teacher, kind of?
that's what I do for a living.
Cool.
I teach English, you know.
That's really cool.
Yeah. And I
She
have
wants to
these
learn Spanish, actually.
Oh, I'm so bad at
really.
Spanish. It's
Are you studying?
I took 2 classes this last school year and the teacher was just horrendous. Any questions I had, he was like, "Good luck."
I've helped
I'm
out with a lot of Spanish homework since coming back.
really well. I've been thinking about expanding my project of teaching English to also teaching in Spanish because that's I've been doing that for like 4 years, helping the missionaries, like
Hmm.
on a weekly basis, So if I ended up like forming something, I can let you know, and
Oh,
you could
please
join the
do.
project. Why not?
Oh,
You know,
absolutely.
because basically, it's like what I do is basically the same thing. I use the same presentations. What I use to help my students of English. It's the same thing that I use for the missionaries when they need to improve their Spanish. So I've been thinking about it, and probably I will end up, inviting Americans to join Spanish classes. I have to build it a little bit more, but it's very likely. I think I'm going to do it. So I'll let you know. You might like it.
Yes, please do. Doing English
Yeah.
classes.
Yeah.
Or not English,
Spanish
Spanish,
classes.
but yeah,
Yeah.
you know what I
Spanish.
mean.
Yeah. You still doing it. It's 3 o'clock your time, right?
We're doing it like 2:30.
At
Uh,
2:30. So
I moved it.
here with the 3 hour differences, we have at 11:30 in the morning, Saturdays.
That's not bad.
Just not.
It's not
That's the one
very.
I have with the missionaries. I moved it to Fridays. Unless there's something else going on, I move it to Saturday. But now we're doing it on Fridays at 2:30. You know,
Wow.
um, but maybe I will invite other people that are not missionaries. That's why this is what I was telling you. If I form all the kinds of groups with other people that are not missionaries, and their schedule is not so crazy.
Hmm.
I might end up doing something like that. I will let you know. I will let you know because I'm still thinking about it now, how I would do that. Okay. But it's very
Yeah,
likely that I will do
absolutely.
it because I want to.
That's so real.
Yes, I think I there was a sign that said like we had 10 minutes, and that was like I don't know how many minutes ago. So probably we're near the end of this recording.
I'll let you finish
But
your
Oh,
interview.
okay. I'll just get out of here.
Yeah. So probably it's like under 5 minutes now, maybe three or something. I think that the last part, there's a countdown that is going to appear on the screen at some point. But it's like,
Oh yeah, for the Zoom.
yes, I think it's when it's 3 minutes or something like that. I don't remember. I don't see anything so far. Wait.
You'll see it as the host. I've done
No,
it.
what it
Oh,
says one
it's
minute.
1 minute.
So basically, we have to use these 60 seconds to say goodbye. But I think we will have to do it again. I think I want to know
I would
more.
love to.
I want to know more about you and your family. You're amazing. So
Thank you.
I thank you. I thank you for accepting. I know that this might have sounded a little bit crazy, and unexpected, but I hope that you like the final result when this is posted. Okay? I'll let you
Yeah.
know, and I send you the link when the video is ready.
Yeah, I'll definitely look out for that.
Okay, well, thank you so much. I'm honored that you accepted. I really enjoyed this interview, and once again, one of the most originals ever.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Well, I'll talk to you soon, okay? And I'll
Yeah,
send you
I'll
the
talk to you
video.
soon.
Okay,
Perfect.
thank you. I
Yeah.
really enjoyed it. Okay? All
Yeah.
right.
Que tenga una buena noche.
Igualmente, pásalo bien. Te mando un abrazo grande. Nos vemos.